So for number 8, you would do tan is y over x, right? So I get 2 over negative 2 root 3. The 2's cancel, and I end up with negative 1 over root 3. And we would rationalize that because that's how it is on like what we remember, what we like learned for tangents. And it would be negative root 3 over 3. So the root 3's over 3's are the over 6's. It's negative because this is tangent. You're talking about also take out. The tangent would be negative in second quadrant and fourth quadrant. So then you go to where your original point is. Your original point is a negative x and a positive y. Negative x is back, positive y is up. So you're in that second quadrant. So you're picking the over 6 in the second quadrant, which would be 5 pi over 6.
So you can't just leave it as negative square root 3 over...
No, you then got to find the angle. So the answer for all of those, think about it, you're looking for theta. Theta should be an angle. So you find the tan, and then you figure out the tangent, which angle has that tangent. Any other questions from this stuff? Okay, so if you open, like if I'm, let's just go to number 9. If once I find theta is negative 1, on my full unit circle, there's 2 places it's negative 1, second quadrant, fourth quadrant, right? So then I look at the location of this point. This point would be a positive x, which means I'm moving forward, and a negative y, which means I'm in the fourth quadrant, and so I pick that over 4. In the 3-3 review that's on your to-do list, yeah. Oh, okay, it says the figure shown has a circle of radius 4 along with 4 labeled points in the xy plane. The measure of angle COB is equal to the measure of AOB. What are the coordinates of point B? So if COB and AOB are the same, what's true about those angles? They're 45 degrees, which is what radian? Pi over 4. So if I want to know what the coordinates of B are, then my theta is going to go from my standard position to B. What is the angle measurement of theta? 5 pi over 4, because we're taking pi and we're adding pi over 4 to it. Does that make sense? Yes? So theta is 5 pi over 4. This question is saying, what are the coordinates of point B? How do I find the coordinates if I have an angle and a radius? Good. R cosine theta, R sine theta. So the radius is 4. 4 times the cosine of 5 pi over 4. And 4 times the sine of 5 pi over 4. What's the coordinate point at 5 pi over 4? What's the signs there? Negative, good. Negative root 2 over 2. Negative root 2 over 2. So this is 4. Negative root 2 over 2. 4. Negative root 2 over 2. And I end up getting negative 2 root 2 and negative 2 root 2. So that's the answer to number 1. That tells you I have to go find that answer, and that will be my number 2. So I look, you see at the top of each of these boxes has answers. The second page on the right, there's the answer from number 1. So I write number 2 in here. And then I'm going to answer number 2. And then the answer to number 2 leads you to number 3. And then the answer to number 3 leads you to number 4, okay? I would say, I wouldn't even stress about doing them as in order as much as use it as a helpful hint. Each of these answers have to appear once. If you get a duplicate, something's wrong. If you get something that's not one of those answers, something's obviously wrong, okay? So you can either go one, then the other, then the other, then the other. The last one should bring you back to number 1. Or you can answer them all and then figure out your order based on that. But at the end, you have to make sure you do the order, okay? I would say that question was weird, so make sure you know how to do that because we just went over on the AP Classroom. That's something that's going to come back. And also the distance ones show up again. So like if you want the distance between, this kind of question, the distance between the 2 points, you have to figure out where they are and then figure out, am I subtracting their cosines or am I subtracting their sines? Sines or cosines, okay? This is going to be homework after tomorrow. Understood? So I'm moving your due date to Tuesday. Tonight, focus on your quiz review. Okay, your quiz review is more accurate to your quiz tomorrow. These will come back on your test. Obviously, the quiz questions could come back on your test too, but these higher level, like higher order thinking ones are also going to come back on your test. Questions for me? Okay, I'll open your quiz review. I feel like this one's pretty straightforward. In the beginning, this was 3-1. This is where we would try to figure out the period and then figure out the interval on which we go from left to right. Go. Oh. Do you have an appointment? And then came the radius and the arc, so you need SOAR here. These are where you can use your calculator. You're going to have your calculator the whole time, but the other answers are going to be kept exact. So just those are the ones that we're going to round, okay? When you get to 7, you're going to use your calculator for, and then 8 and 9 are the ones from 3-3. And these are the ones you want to make sure you keep your answers exact, okay? If you give me a decimal on those, I'm going to mark them wrong. Don't do it. You got to keep them exact. So if there's a root 3 in there, you're keeping the root 3, and that's where those are the ones that you need to know your unit circle stuff for. So again, I'll give you a little blank one. If you want to fill it in, fill it in. But AP's not going to do that. So I don't also want it to be like a crutch that you have to have that.